Hey, remember in my Persona 5 review where I said I wanted to pinch Morgana because of how cute he was? Well, now that the deed is done, let's get to the main topic. Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis Media once again, and welcome to my top 10 favorite horror movies of 2018. These are the horror films I felt were the most intense, the most memorable, the most mostly scary horror films that I enjoyed the most this year. This has been a pretty good year for horror movies, surprisingly. There were some big surprises and there were some horror films that I didn't really know much about, but I'm glad that I saw them. And just so you know, not all of your favorites are going to make this list probably, but that is okay because we all have our own different lists. But before I get into it, I want to give out a few honorable mentions. Insidious, Insidious: The Last Key. I didn't think it was a bad film. Uh, Revenge, The Ritual, and I think no, could have sworn there was one more. I don't know. Those I should have written them down, but I'm not here to talk about the honorable mentions. I'm here to talk about the horror films that I enjoyed the most. So, anyways, let's begin. Number 10, Unsane, and Unsane is pretty insane. Unsane. Anyways, I did not know a whole lot about this film going in. Like, I did not know what to expect. What I really didn't expect was this to be from the director of Ocean's 8 and Logan Lucky. And what was really surprising was the film, it was all recorded with an iPhone, which was really impressive. I actually did see a trailer for this, so I was kind of interested, but you know what? It was really surprising. It was really intriguing on what is going on in this girl's mind because this is a movie about a guy that is stalking this girl and she doesn't know if she is crazy or not. It's just such an interesting concept that I can say works throughout most of the movie. Unsane is really a crazy film that is definitely worth checking out. Number 9. You know, when I heard there was going to be a remake to Suspiria, I really did not have that much expectation. But you know what? The movie was really surprising. I really loved how, it wasn't really trying to remake like so many scenes from the original film. Like it feels like it's trying to do its own thing and not trying to copy and paste what we did see in the original film. I mean, given that it's an hour longer than the original film, it definitely had a lot to show and it was pretty disturbing, and it shows that movies like this definitely are not for everyone. And all in all, it was a really intense time at the theaters, and like really, I had to go to the bathroom near the end, but I just wanted to hold it just so I could see what would happen next. I did not want to miss anything, and luckily I didn't. And I was really intrigued for the most part, and this is definitely one of the better horror remakes out there. Number 8. Overlord is less of a horror film and more of an action film, but there are zombies in this movie, so I'm counting it as a horror film. Well, it's not really just a zombie film. I mean, some people can go in just expecting a zombie film, but for the most part, it is a really, really fun zombie film. I really like how it was basically trying to revive the genre and doing it in so many ways, and I think they mostly succeed. It was filled with action, it was filled with memorable performances, it's very well paced, and especially near the end, if you enjoy bloody, disgusting, shoot 'em up fun, then this is definitely the movie for you. It's definitely not scary. I can say the scary aspect is when the zombies do show up. Like, it's not a jump scare fest or anything like that, but that is exactly what I expected, and that is exactly what I got. Number 7. Overlord might have been a great zombie film, but it's not my favorite zombie film of the year. That honor would have to go to this film, Anna and the Apocalypse. It was just so intriguing to see a horror comedy film not being both entertaining, but also being entertaining with its music and the fact that it basically revived the entire zombie genre for the most part. It had a lot of memorable characters that you wanted to get out alive, some of them didn't, but for the most part, it's a roller coaster ride of just pure bloody zombie fun with a great main protagonist and really great songs because this is a musical and it's definitely one of the best horror musicals I've ever seen in my life. And it's definitely one of those films that I'm pretty much going to watch for a long time if I decide to do another zombie movie marathon, which I do those a lot. Number six, Upgrade is a movie that I saw at the last minute. I did not know it was coming out until that very day. I've heard so much positive reviews about how smart it was, how much fun it was, how funny it was, how tense it was, and it definitely was all those things. This is a movie that literally messes with someone's mind because basically they're just out of control with a person that basically is in their head controlling them. And while it's definitely not much of a horror film. So why am I putting it this high on here? Well, it's just too good to ignore. And I enjoyed this film more than the others I just put on this list. So that's why I put it that high. I mean, for the most part, you could consider it a horror film. There is a villain, there is deaths, there is disturbing moments. So that's why I'm putting it on here. And it's from the director, the star of the first Saw movie and few of the Insidious movies, and I can say Lee Wynell, by the way. And I can say he really knocked it out of the park with this one. Number five. Before I made this list, I had to check out Mandy first. And yeah, it definitely deserves a spot because, oh boy, This is this film is messed up. I mean, Nicolas Cage is back and a lot better than he was in the previous times. He's just as over the top as usual, but not too over the top. He knows what movie he is in and he knows exactly what to deliver in this movie. I love how this movie does not rely on jump scares. It focuses a lot on suspense most of the time. And yeah, it is gruesome at some parts, and it is really just. It's pretty bizarre. And so, yeah, it's a shame this did not get a theatrical release, at least for the most part. The movie's not even rated. If you were to give it a rating, then you would probably give it an R rating, but Mandy is definitely one of those films that needs to be seen, and it's a film that I feel like people are going to talk about for a pretty long time, and people definitely have been talking about it, which is a good thing. Number four. First, it took them 20 years to make an actually good Halloween movie. Although Halloween 2 from 1981 was pretty good, but not amazing. I thought Halloween H2O was better than 2. And then 20 more years later, I thought the new film was better than all the sequels. This is a movie that truly does honor its formula in just the right way. Jamie Lee Curtis is back, and she is better than ever. She's not afraid anymore. She's ready to take Michael Myers down once and for all. It's everything I was hoping for in a new Halloween film. It delivers the scares, it delivers the violence, it delivers basically everything I could have wanted in a Halloween sequel or reboot ish. It's definitely a sequel and not a reboot. Although it could have gotten a better title like Halloween Returns or something. But all in all, Halloween was not a disappointment in the slightest. And I'm just wondering what are they going to do with the franchise next. Number three. Once again, we have another movie that's less of a horror film and more of a psychological thriller or sci-fi film, Annihilation. But you know what? I love this movie so much that I had to put it this high on here, and I had to put it on my favorite horror films of the year. I mean, there's definitely surprisingly a lot of horror elements that worked in the movie. That like there's creatures, there is definitely some scary imagery, some creepy imagery. So that's why I'm putting it on here. But you know what? I had to put it on here this high because this is a movie that has stuck with me ever since I saw it. Like this is a movie I just can't stop thinking about. It was so intriguing. And it's a movie that has so much rewatchability to it that I just can't help rewatching it. I just can't help but rewatch it again. I've watched it on Blu-ray once. I've seen it in theaters once. It was truly a fantastic experience for me. It's beautiful to look at, both in a practical and CG effect, and it definitely just Natalie Portman delivers probably her best since I probably Black Swan. But all in all, Annihilation truly deserves to make it this high up on here. Number two. And of course, how could I not have Hereditary on here? This is a movie I was looking forward to ever since I heard about it, and truly it did not disappoint me in the slightest. This is by far my favorite horror film from A24. I've watched it 2 times now. It was just great to see on the big screen Thursday night. I saw it super late, and it was a great experience. Tony Collette and everybody else, Alex Wolff, I think that's what his name is, do fantastic jobs, including the kid that played the girl that played Charlie. She was great in the movie too. It's just great to see a movie that focuses a lot more on story and basically less on jump scares. There's no jump scares, by the way, although the moments that feel like they're jump scares are definitely there, but for the most part, there are no jump scares. And it just left me like shocked near the end of the film, and it was a truly messed up film. Even though it's a slow burn, I honestly was not bored throughout 90% of the film. Like, this movie was really just it was just so great that it's definitely a film worth watching if you're a fan of horror. This is something that horror fans truly deserve, and it definitely needs to be on here. It needs to make it this high on here. But you know, there was still just one more movie that I did not even think I was going to enjoy that much. But really, it was just. Well, let me just show you right now. Let's end it off with this film. Number one. I was expecting A Quiet Place to be good. I wasn't expecting it to be amazing. This is this is a horror film that hit me so hard, not just with its scares, but with its emotion and fantastic performances from John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. They do fantastic in this movie. This is finally one of those movies that actually works with the concept that it is bringing out. You have to be completely quiet, or else creatures will come out and get you. I thought that was such an intriguing concept, and I'm so happy that it worked in this film. John Krasinski directed this movie like a boss, man. He did a fantastic job directing this movie. It's incredibly well shot. It is, like I said, incredibly well acted. It is deeply disturbing at some parts for a PG-13 film. And I was just really like, this is a movie that I was really hoping to enjoy. And I'm glad that I did. I don't think that Platinum Dunes logo is going to scare me anymore. Like, the fact that it is produced by Michael Bay is also really surprising, and in all honesty, it definitely is my favorite horror film of the year, and it's one of my favorite films of the year in general, and definitely expected on my overall top 10 favorite films of the year list, or top 15, or whatever. But still, A Quiet Place is my favorite horror film of the year, period. And there you have it. Those were my top 10 favorite horror films of 2018. Hope you guys enjoyed. There's going to be my top 10 best and worst movies of the year list coming after Christmas, as well as my top 10 favorite games of the year list coming next week as well, hopefully. Um, but it might give me some time because I have two more games to play. So, and I'm getting them for Christmas too. So that's why you have to wait. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys later. Word out.